What's up, everybody? What's up? What's up? Today, once again, like we have been on this very, very, very insightful road of men's mental health awareness, and today I got a very special guest with me. Not because he's just,
Police!
because he's all.
Help! Police! Help! Police! Help!
Nah, don't call the police. Don't call the police. Here we have a little thing, little jump outs every now and again. But nah, all jokes aside though. Today we have Mr. Los here. Mr. Los.
What's up? What's up?
All right. All right. So Mr. Los, tell us a little bit about how about your upbringing before we get started.
My upbringing. Well, I was when I was coming up, it was me and my mom and my siblings and my biological dad until I was like 3 or 4, and then she left him, and then she met my stepdad, and they got together, and they eventually got married, and it was us until the rest of his life until he passed away. But they ended up splitting up, and us kids we stayed with my dad. While my mom, she just did her own thing, you know.
Okay.
But we were in like it was my junior year in high school, the end of my junior year in high school when that happened. So, but everything else was I had a good childhood.
You know what? That's okay. So a great childhood. That is something, isn't it? Like so. I mean, so were you guys when I say affluent? Were you guys like of money descent or
Nah, we wasn't money descent. We that made ends meet. Like, he was a brick mason, and she was a stay-at-home mom while they were together until he retired, and then we just lived off of what they provided.
okay? Okay. Um. So let's get down to the meat and potatoes of it. First things first. May I ask you why did you accept the invitation to to come up here?
I accepted because I just wanted to provide you with the feedback, you know,
Okay.
help you with your podcast.
Okay. I mean, hey, I would rather honest answers than a made up one. And for anybody that's watching this, please understand once again that we are not scripted up here. We are not any type of anything up here but our original selves. So, Mr. Carlos. Oh, see what I mean? Mr. Los. Mr. Los, Mr. Los, Mr. Los. Uh First things first, I I am humbled enough to say that I'm glad you came up here. Let me keep saying it. I'm gonna keep saying it. I'm very happy you came up here. And let's get down to it. Our first question: as a man, do you feel like it is harder to accept a no or give a no in any capacity?
It's a two-sided sword. Um, uh, yeah, I truly believe it's a two-sided sword. Most of the time, you want to try to avoid accepting a no, but yeah, it's a two-sided sword. That's how I feel. What do you think?
Me personally, I have a hard time. I have a hard time accepting a no, and I'm gonna tell you why I say that. First things first, I really have a hard time accepting a no because I'm the type of person who exhausts every option before I ask for help. I always have been, always will be. So if I'm coming to you for help and you know the nature of who I am, I'm not expecting a definite yes, but I'm not expecting a definite no either. So if you're just like no, and that means that I'm all out of options. You know what I mean? So I just got to take the loss. So and that's just and that's just how I've learned that myself to be. You know what I mean? I learned myself to be that way. It's not easy to take a no because I barely say no to others, and I understand above anything else. That just because you'll do it for them doesn't mean
You gonna do it.
nobody. Yeah, hey, I mean they'll do it for you, but also nobody told you to do it.
Right.
So that is one of the biggest things that I've come to realize about myself is I have to realize that people don't view things the way you view things because at the end of the day they're not you. So their no might be coming from a different perspective, but it's always harder to see a different perspective, especially if you're in a time of need. So
I agree.
that's mine's. That's mine's. Do you feel that your mental state is a product of overcoming adversity, like overcoming challenges, or providing peace? You feel like your mental state is a place of providing peace for those around you. Like it's which one is your foundation?
Providing peace for those around me. Uh, I
Why?
find that I typically overextend myself when I do that. But yeah, uh, that's what I find. Like, I
You
can't
care to?
explain.
I mean, let we're here to talk about it. So let me ask you. You say provide peace for the people around you. You mentioned in your upbringing that your pops might have passed away. So do you feel as though, I mean, not your pop might have passed away, your pops passed away.
Yes.
So do you feel as though that you took over as quote unquote man of the house syndrome? So it started with like protecting your sisters, and then it went from protecting your sisters to just naturally protect her.
It was recently that he passed away, so we're all adults, so it wasn't like as no, let me see what the word as much as I was as a shock as if it would have been that we were younger. But I did have to take on the role when I had to financially, get everything prepared, and I took that role, and I seen that everything was done, and yeah,
Okay.
and I helped
Okay.
push for everybody else around my family.
Okay. Okay. So I mean, is it safe to say that you provide peace for those around you
Yeah,
because you seek because by doing it, do you think it gives you some type of peace? Because
yeah, it gives me
as
peace knowing that they're not gonna have to deal with that, and it's not gonna be on their mental. Like it's not gonna be stressing them out. Like they can worry about that one particular situation, and I'm just helping them along.
okay, okay, uh, all right. You know what? I like talking to you. You are straightforward to the point. Ain't no dancing around it. Okay, cool, cool. Do you feel that you are alive, or do you feel like you're surviving currently in
I feel like I'm alive right now because I'm stable. I mean, I'm not worried about nothing. I'm happy. I feel alive.
life? Okay, okay, all right. So tell us about a tell us about an adversity that you are currently facing in your life right now. A mental adversity, of course.
I'm into adversity. Right now, I would say dealing with the recent passings of my brother, my grandmother, and my father. Uh, you know, they were like almost back to back, not too far spread apart. Um, that always weighs on somebody's mental. I mean, even if it's not there every day, it's going to pop up in everyday situations, and just gotta. And for me, I find that I like to push it back until it rears up, and keep pushing it back until I have to face it eventually. And I do that on my own in my own private space.
If I may, and you can tell me no. You don't have to go any further than that. But if I may, uh, what would be your process? What's your process to keeping you level headed with dealing with all that? Because grief is a heavy token to, a heavy burden to bear. You know what I mean? But like you said, I'm pretty. These things didn't happen over a span. These things were kind of back to back. So you never had the proper time to grieve one without, you know, turning around and having to grieve for the other.
Right.
So what is your what is your process that you use to keep you grounded, and or what avenues have you taken to keep yourself grounded mentally? Because a brother is a confidant, so you can't talk to him, you can't talk to your dad, you can't seek guardianship from your grandmother.
Right.
So I know, I can speak from that personally. you know What's your, if you don't, once again, if you don't mind me asking, what's your process?
What I did was I submerged myself into work, and I try to stay busy at work to keep my mind off of all of that, and that helps. But I mean, there are occasions when you just sitting around at home when you're not at work, and it just pops up in your mind, and you're just like, damn. And you think about it, and you just try to process it as best you can.
Okay. Okay. So let's have a little fun here. Let's have a little fun.
All right.
Uh, you are you the type of person that are on vacation, if you go to like tourist trips and stuff like that, do you give to the locals, or you're like, nah, oh, like, kids coming up trying to sell you shit and stuff like that? Are you just like, nah, I'm good? Or are you like, are you a surveyor of the land, or are you just like, I'm here for a good time, but I'm not here to do all the extras?
I'm here for a good time, not do all that extra. I'm stingy with my
I
money.
promise you. I promise you. I promise you. All right, listen, listen, listen.
Unless I like it. If I like it, really, really, really like it, I'm gonna get it. But I
It,
ain't trying to do too much extra.
it's got to stand out to me in order for me to buy it. I'm just not about to
Exactly.
buy things just to buy something, because like I would no, and understand, I went to Mexico. It was beautiful. I went to Mexico, and I did not buy I did not buy anything but a sombrero. That's it. I want an authentic sombrero. Point blank. That's it. So, uh, how are you? Because you mentioned that you throw yourself into work because you don't want to talk about grief. I mean, you don't want to think about the grief process or whatever. And I promise I won't keep bringing it up. But I will ask you this: Are you currently in a relationship?
I am.
How does throwing yourself into work affect your relationship mentally? As a boyfriend, how do you feel your relationship handles, you know,
For
because
me, I try to keep both separate. Like when I'm at work, I'm at work. While I'm at work, whatever I think about at work, that's where I leave it. When I come home, it's just home vibes. That's it.
okay, okay. I I only ask because it seems like we try to live different lives, but when they start pouring into each other or bleeding over, we don't assess the damages until we realize how much it has bled over. So, and that's just what I've come to find out. That's just men, period. Like we do not stop and assess the damages that we have caused ourselves. We'll stop and assess the damages that we have caused other people.
Hmm.
We'll talk to other people all day long about about what's going on with them. We're goal oriented people. We're solution oriented people too. So with that being said, we will help people assess their own damages. But when it comes to ourselves, we don't assess the damages. We just be like, I'll deal with it later. And it
Right.
just keeps piling up and piling up and piling up. So I do have to ask you, have you ever had have you ever had a blowout? Let me say it like that. Have you ever had a blowout to where your mental capacity just could not burden another, just and it just boom, just blew up.
No, I haven't experienced that. Uh, I would say because me and my partner we work separate shifts, so I'm home, he's gone, and it's like, uh, what can I say? When he's not here, I can be by myself, and sift through everything that's on my mind, pretty much, in my own mental capacity, and most of the time I just sleep. To be honest, that's my self healing process. Sleep, sleep,
Okay.
relaxation.
You know what? I value my sleep too. I value my sleep more than I should actually, because it's like all those nap times wasted as a kid. If I could just take all those hours and just put them all back together, still wouldn't be enough to sleep. So I understand that. I understand that completely. Uh, I did just hear you say he. So I mean, is it okay to ask about your orientation?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Uh, how was it growing up how was it growing up learning that for yourself?
It was hard. I would say it was hard. It was difficult accepting it because I grew up. My father was a Baptist. We went to a Baptist church, you know, and that situation you always hear, the homophobic stuff. So it's like, no, I don't want to be that. That's not who I am. But you have to accept. I had to accept that reality that this is who I am. This is what I like.
Okay. Okay. Uh, so when you were fighting yourself, were were there times where you felt like giving up? Let me ask you that. Were there times where you felt like giving up, or were you just like, this is something I got to see through to the end? And the reason why I ask is because, once again, your orientation, there are those out there who could not fight that fight no longer. There are those out there who could not they fought as long as they could. They had nobody to talk to. Did you have a safe space to talk to? Did were how hard do you think was acceptance for you, for others?
I didn't look for acceptance within others. I still don't. Uh, the first person I told was my sister. And she's my twin, so I told her everything. So she was and still is. She's my confidant. So I had her. We just tell everything to each other, like open books.
Okay. Okay. Uh so I mean, and I just got one more question. Of course, it's orientation related. Uh, do you feel as though you have more room to be more open about your orientation now? And I'm not saying like, I'm gonna say maybe than 10 years ago.
Definitely, definitely. Uh, a lot has changed since then.
Please enlighten me.
Uh, like people are more accepting now. Like back then, when I say after high school, when I first started my job, uh, I didn't tell nobody. Nobody knew. The only people that knew were family. I mean, of course, people expect, um, but they really never knew until I actually told them. But yeah,
Okay. Okay. All right. So, uh, kids are kids on the table for you?
maybe in the future.
Maybe in the
We'll,
future.
we'll see.
Let me. Okay, so since we said maybe in the future, let me ask you this: boy or girl? If we're in the future and you get to pick which one, boy or girl? You team boy, team girl?
Girls are easier. I'll say girls are easier.
What? No, man, boys are easier, man.
Girls.
Boys are easier. Boys are easier. Boys are easier because it seems like I mean, with girls, it's so much expression, and it's raw expression too. And then yeah, trust me, I got two of them. Raw
I'm going
expression.
off based off of my nieces. They little cute,
Oh,
little
they
innocent little things can't do no wrong.
how old are they?
Uh, my niece is 3, and the older one is like 8 or 9.
Oh
Yeah.
nah, I got two 9-year olds, and they stink. They stink. They stink. You hear me? They stink. I love them to death, but they stink. Oh God.
Yeah.
But family is a big part of a man's mental health, and that's what I'm starting to realize is that your family can really make or break your mental health as a man.
Hmm.
So with that statement being made, was there ever a time that you fell out with a family member and you just did not reconcile?
With my family, we're close knit, the immediate family, but everybody else outside of our immediate family is just there, and I like we don't keep constant contact and all that. It's just immediate family, my brothers and my sisters, my mom, some of my aunts and uncles. That's it.
So y'all just clicked up. Everybody just clicked up. Everybody got different same name, same last name, but we just clicked up.
Right.
Okay, okay, okay. You know what? I've come to find out as well is that men have a lot of relatives, but we don't have a lot of people we call family.
Right.
And then the ones that we do call family has no blood relation to us. And that is because why do you think that is?
The connections and bonds you make with those other people, you don't make with your actual family. That's how I feel. And the experiences y'all share together.
Okay, okay. Uh, can I ask you a question? Which bond do you think is stronger? A bond made from trauma or a bond made from great how would I say this? A bond made from trauma or a bond that was built off of great memories and great moments.
I'd say a bond with great memories. I mean, there are some instances where trauma can build a bond also, because that person is there with you to go through all that stuff with you.
Okay. All right. How you feel? How you feeling over there, man? I know these some zinger questions. I know
I'm
these some questions that make you think a little bit, right?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Any you have any questions for me?
How do you feel mentally?
Huh. If I gotta be honest, I feel like I don't know nothing. I feel I feel like I don't know anything, man. And the reason being is because I've lived my life mainly through my own perspective. So now that I'm starting to see other people's perspective, I've seen how so little my perspective is. So I'm not gonna say little, so narrow
Hmm.
my perspective is. It's just as like I feel like I've been driving. We've all drove on 211, you know, or we've all drove on 211. I feel like I've just been driving on 211, like no bear offs, no dirt roads, and there's some pretty nice scenery, along that road, but you got to bear off to see it. you know.
Right.
So with me feeling like I don't know anything, it's been a great experience because I'm starting to learn that I'm very appreciative for those around me because I became comfortable with the people in my life, and I had to realize that it took my grandfather passing away for me to realize that the people in my life are not here for me to get comfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
They're here for me to love them and let them know that I love them while they're here. You
Right.
know, anybody can jump out here, when they're putting you in a casket and say, "Oh, I loved him to death." But it's like, damn, did he know you loved him to death? Did he know? Did she know? Do they know? So that's definitely been my mental state. I feel like I don't know enough. Um, but I'm willing to learn what I need to learn to understand what I'm learning. So that's where I'm at. So
Always
yeah,
remember.
yeah, always room to grow. Always room to grow, and it's a ever changing journey. But you got to learn how to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, if
Right.
that makes any sense. So that's definitely it. And I'm I'm not gonna sit here and say that I have mastered that skill because I can honestly say I do not like being uncomfortable in any type of caliber.
I don't think anybody likes to be uncomfortable.
You'll be surprised that there are people who are out here who thrive on the odds being stacked against them. I don't know why they thrive on that, but they do. So yeah, like that's definitely been mine. It's like I'm learning that it is okay. You have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Nobody said you got to be uncomfortable forever, but we
Right.
always treat, especially men, we always treat uncomfortability like it's going to be forever. You know, something change in our lives where we're trying to analyze it, and it's like as men, I feel as though we don't get to take our time with things. We don't get to take our time with things, and if we do, it's always looked at in a negative manner. You know, and I'm pretty sure you can attest to this. It's like if you stop and you start looking at things, people are gonna call you lazy.
Right.
If you jump straight into it without thinking about it, people are gonna say you're a know-it-all. Like, and even down to the dating scene, like a man don't have time to get to know a woman anymore, or so. I mean, can I ask you about that? How is the dating scene? How is the dating scene in the gay community? Is it just like, I mean, is it just like the male and female courtship, or is it more like, because I mean, if men are solution bound, you know what I mean? Two men who find each other, are they solution bound? Like it,
It's
you
a,
get what I'm saying?
I say it's the same process. Same as straight people. Like you meet, you date, figure out likes and stuff, and you go from there. You determine if you want to spend the rest of your life with that person, or is it momentarily?
That is good to know. That is very good to know. You know what I mean? Because when I tell you the dating scene sucked out here, it sucked out here, man. Like, it was weird. It was weird. It's like everything was so transactional. And I always thought it was because there was a level of disconnection there. A man's a man's mental state is different from a woman's. So I always thought that it was a disconnect there that just can never be mended. So to find out that nah, it's not that. Everybody's just fucked up.
And
But you gotta find the ones that's worth being fucked up for, right?
right,
So okay,
gotta
okay.
match crazy.
Yeah. Match the energy. I'm definitely with that. I'm definitely with that. Definitely with that. So, uh, friendships, friendships. Uh, of course, I gotta keep saying it. You know, this is men's mental health awareness. What type of friend do you think you are?
I'm the supportive friend. Like I'm that friend that's gonna listen to your problems, give you feedback when you need it. I'm gonna egg you on, be your personal little hot man.
Okay, so you're the clapping friend. You're gonna be the one clapping loudest in the room. All right. If you're the clapping friend, may I ask you this? Do you get that same treatment in return? Uh oh. Uh oh. Uh oh. Uh oh.
I mean, all friendships are different. Everybody puts a different level of a different level of what can I say, effort into their friendships. I'd say most of my friends, yeah.
Okay.
Some friends, you got those friends that's just like off to the side in their own little world.
Can you tell me about a time where you had to distance yourself from a friend because it was causing you mental strain?
Um, shit. I don't
Not
even think
shit.
I've had one. To be honest, I don't think I've ever had a friendship like that.
You never had a friendship that was stressful to you?
Mm-mm.
Man, what type you really are the supportive friend. Jesus Christ. Where
Uh,
was you? Where was you back in the day? I was a fat black kid in the 90s. I needed a supportive friend. Jesus Christ. But okay, okay, I can respect that. I can respect that. If
but
you
then
could go
you also got to sit back and analyze your friendships. Like who's going who you have those friendships that are just friendships, and then those friendships that are more than friendships and are deep bond related friendships.
correct.
So that's how I look at it.
Okay, so you put your friendship as if it's a tier system, like tier one friends, tier two, tier three, so on and so forth. Okay, I can definitely respect that. I can respect that. Uh, so is it safe to say that you're a laid back person?
Oh yeah, definitely.
So with you being a laid back person, it's also safe to say that are you an observant person?
I observe everything.
Okay, okay. So tell me about a time since you're a laid back and observant person. Tell me about a time where you had to be the confronter instead of the consultant.
Uh, Ooh. A while back, I had a friend. She was in a domestic abuse situation, and and she wasn't listening to anybody else. And I gave her my piece of advice. She listened. She thought about it, and she made moves to change the situation. But she fell back into the situation until she got out of it altogether. But she took the advice for what it was worth.
Okay. So you had to confront your friend on her situation in order to pretty much wake her up.
Right.
Okay. Okay. Was it a one time go or was this like a all right, motherfucker, I need you to wake up type shit? You know what I mean? Like, did you just have to talk to her one time or
I mean, I talked to her that one time, but you always want to follow up with those type of situations. And make sure they're all right. If they need anything, be supportive.
Okay. Okay. Not a bad. You seem to be like a real guy at peace. How how long do you feel as though? I mean, not how long. You seem to be a guy at peace. So with that being said, how did you find this tranquil peace of just being of just accepting this is me. This is me. I am the supportive friend. I am the guy who's gonna dive himself into work. I am, you know what I mean? I am just that guy.
I guess I could say it was my father that instilled those values into me, like be a hard worker. Because when we was kids, my father, he sat us down at the table and he went through what we needed to be successful in life. Like he laid out, he put a perfect example out for us on the table. He said we need to save money. He wrote what he did was he wrote down the bills for the house and everything he had left over after those bills. And of course, it went to us kids and going out to eat, family trips, and all that good stuff. And sometimes, you know, times were harder than others, but it makes you realize, like, yeah, I gotta be a hard worker. I gotta do what I need to do to make sure I'm gonna be okay for the rest of my life.
Okay. Okay. uh if you could talk to yourself, if you could talk to yourself, I'm gonna say 10 years ago. Matter of fact, senior in high school. Senior in high school about to take on the world. You can talk to yourself for an hour. What would be the first thing you would start with? And why?
Whew. Finish college. uh, why I say that? Because I like my job. Don't get me wrong, but of course, you always want more for yourself. And I feel like college would have gave me that. But being that I went straight into my job after high school, and it just didn't work out with my school schedule, so I didn't get to finish. But yeah, I would say finish college definitely. Don't worry about the job. Stay at home as long as you can stay at home. Because after high school, I moved out. I was in a different relationship. I moved out. We were together, and I was just working.
Okay. Okay. What made you okay, so you said you was in a different relationship. Do you feel as though what did you take from that relationship? Because you're currently not in that relationship anymore, right?
No.
Okay, because I mean, shoot, I just know people be in long term relationships.
uh, oh yeah. Um, what I learned from that is like don't pour your all into one person fast and in
Somebody
a hurry.
somebody gonna see this and not get married.
I said
Somebody
fast and in a hurry because it was crazy. Yeah,
what made it
people. I mean, 5 years you spend with one person, and boom, next thing you know, you're no longer together. So stuff changes. So you got to roll with the punches.
that's very true. That's very true. Very true. So we're going to speak about today's, in today's age. Why do you feel as though, I mean, let me not say why do you feel as though. Is it safe to say that people do not take their mental health seriously nowadays?
I'd say there's more awareness now, but I don't think that people are still taking it as serious as they should be. There's a lot of stuff still going on. You still got all these suicides and stuff. But mothers killing their children.
Yeah, it is. It's out there. It's
Oh
out
yeah.
there. It's out there deeply. So, okay. So as a man, we don't really like talking to people. That is clear. We do not like talking to people. So, what were some ways? What was a way that you found was unconventional to you? Let me put it like that. I mean, like, yeah. What was a way or a solution that you found was that was outside of your normal means of dealing with things? Like Mike Tyson used to what's name pigeons. He used to keep pigeons. You know what I mean? Like mine's is I'm starting to realize that I like bird watching. You know what I mean? It's peaceful. So what is you know an unconventional thing that you have found out about yourself when it comes to dealing with your own mental peace?
What I find I like is like, of course, I like to sleep, but I also like to immerse myself in some music, listen to music. You know, music it helps me mind
Music
off of yeah.
music is definitely a beautiful thing. So what are you like don't tell me you like a hardcore rap listener, man. Like you just be out here cussing people out going down the street. Like
Oh
what,
no,
what
no. Uh, I like R&B, hip hop, pop.
pop?
Yeah.
All right, bet. So we're at a point of the show where we're going to have a little bit of fun.
All right.
We always and don't worry, I did this with everybody else, so I'm doing it with you as well. You got to give me three crushes from three different eras. Talk to me.
Mm.
Three crushes from three different eras.
Ooh, let me see.
And not ooh,
You said three
three. I mean, when you seen them, you was like, "Yep, definitely can get it."
from three different eras. I don't know. It's tough.
It is tough, but everybody have a crush. Okay, well, let's start with one. What's one crush that you would just be like, "Oh yeah, that's the one." You can also say pass if you don't feel comfortable. Remember, like I always say, we're not up here to, you know,
Yeah, I want to pass because
respect.
I'm
Uh, it's all good. It's all good. Uh, so moving on, we're gonna go straight into our gym drop, and our gym drop is where for the people who's watching, we always leave on a great note or some type of words of encouragement. It doesn't have to be specific. It doesn't have to be topic specific, but we try to leave something for somebody else to pick up because we believe in each one teach one. So what's a gym you got for the people out here?
try to keep a positive mindset. Uh, no matter what you're going through. I mean, of course, sometimes it'd be harder than others, but keep that happy place or a happy person or whatever makes you happy. Keep it at the top of your list.
I definitely respect that one. My gym for today is going to be my gym for today is going to be acknowledge the hurt. Acknowledge the hurt. And don't make excuses for being hurt. If you are hurt, it is okay to acknowledge that you are hurt. because at the end of the day, you're the one that has to deal with that hurt. So acknowledge that you've been hurt, but also acknowledge that because you are hurt, you now have to reevaluate some things.
Right.
Because if what you were doing before led to this hurt, an evaluation must happen. Because to do something exact same and still end up with the same result, expecting a different result, is insanity. And that's by definition, not by my words. So please, please, please acknowledge your hurt and make adjustments because it might save you. Because next time you probably won't feel no hurt because there won't be a next time.
All right.
This has been the showcase. Mr. Los, of course, I always thank you for coming, my guy. Matter of fact, give Los a round of applause, man. He kept it straight to the point, man. He didn't get on the bush on us. He didn't beat around the bush on us. He didn't try to, come up with an elaborate thing. And like I said, these are not scripts up here. These are real people telling you about real things. So please respect everything that they have said, and for others who are listening, and for those who might want to come up here and talk about about mental health, understand that the door is always open to everybody. Everybody, family, friends, strangers. The door is always open because if nobody else love you, Tater Bear love you. I love you. I would rather read about you doing something great than read about you no longer being here because you had nobody to talk to.
Right.
So to my brothers, I love y'all. Mr. Los, I love you, man. I love you, my nothing but big love, and we out.